Welcome to Calm Mind English. Some days, you can be trying seriously, but your life still looks almost the same. You may look around and wonder why your effort has not turned into something clear yet. It can feel strange to keep moving when nothing around you seems to prove that you are moving. Today, we are talking about why your progress feels slow even when you are moving forward. This is for the person who has been changing quietly, but cannot see enough evidence yet. It is for the person who is not standing still, but still feels behind. Slow progress can be hard to trust, because it does not always give you a strong sign. You may wake up, go to work, do the same tasks, answer the same messages, clean the same room, and deal with the same responsibilities. From the outside, the day looks ordinary. From the inside, you know you are trying to become different. Maybe you are trying to be more disciplined. Maybe you are trying to speak better English, save money, control your emotions, build a career, take care of your family, or simply become calmer in your own mind. You do something small again and again, but when you check your life, it can feel like the result is too small to see. This is where many people begin to doubt themselves. They do not doubt because they are lazy. They doubt because the distance between effort and visible change feels too long. Imagine someone sitting at a desk late at night. The room is quiet. The phone is beside them. There is a notebook open, maybe a few words written down, maybe a plan for tomorrow. They did not waste the whole day. They worked. They handled things. They tried to make one better choice. But when they look at the bigger picture, they feel almost disappointed. Their English is not fluent yet. Their body does not look different yet. Their bank account has not changed much. Their confidence is still uneven. Their situation is still not where they want it to be. So the mind says, why is this taking so long? That question can feel heavy. It can make real effort seem smaller than it is. It can make a person forget that progress often begins as something quiet, uneven, and difficult to measure. In normal life, change does not always arrive like a clear announcement. It often arrives through small moments that look too ordinary to respect. You pause before reacting. You finish one small task before opening your phone. You choose to sleep a little earlier. You study for 20 minutes even when your mind is tired. You speak one sentence even though it is not perfect. None of these actions may feel impressive in the moment. They do not create a dramatic before and after picture. But they are not empty. They are small movements in a new direction. The problem is that the mind often wants visible proof immediately. It wants to feel different after one good day. It wants 1 week of effort to remove months or years of old patterns. When that does not happen, the mind starts to call the progress slow. But sometimes progress feels slow because you are watching it too closely. When you look at a plant every few minutes, it looks like nothing is happening. The soil looks still. The stem looks the same. The leaves do not move in a way your eyes can easily catch. But under the surface, something is happening quietly. Roots are holding deeper. Cells are changing. Strength is being built before height is visible. Your life can work in a similar way. There are stages where you are not seeing the height yet, because the root stage is still happening. You are learning how to return after a bad day. You are learning how to keep one promise to yourself. You are learning how to stay with a process that does not reward you every hour. This stage can feel boring. It can feel unfair. It can make you think nothing is happening, because the outside picture has not changed enough. But the early part of progress is often less about looking different and more about becoming stable enough to continue. A person who is moving forward may still have tired days. They may still feel unsure. They may still make mistakes. They may still repeat an old habit sometimes. This does not always mean they have failed. It may mean they are still in the middle, where the old pattern has not fully disappeared and the new pattern has not fully become natural. That middle place is uncomfortable because it does not give a clear identity. You are no longer exactly the same person. but you are not yet the person you want to become. You are between the old rhythm and the new rhythm. That is why progress can feel slow, even when movement is real. Think about a person trying to improve their daily routine. At first, they imagine a clean and organized life. They imagine waking up early, working calmly, eating well, studying consistently, and ending the day with peace. Then real life begins again. The child needs something. Work takes longer than expected. A message interrupts the plan. The body feels tired. The house is noisy. The person still does one small thing, but it feels far away from the life they imagined. This gap can make them feel like they are not progressing. But the gap does not mean the small action was useless. It only means the mind is comparing one step with the whole mountain. When you compare today's effort with your final dream, today will almost always look too small. One page looks small compared with a book. One workout looks small compared with a healthy body. One calm response looks small compared with a peaceful personality. One saved dollar looks small compared with financial stability. But life does not change by becoming the final version in one jump. It changes through repeated contact with the direction you want to go. A slow day can still be a moving day. A small choice can still be a real choice. A quiet effort can still be part of a larger change. The difficult part is that slow progress does not always feel rewarding. It asks you to keep going before your emotions agree with you. It asks you to trust a pattern before the result feels strong. It asks you to respect the kind of effort that no one claps for. And sometimes even you do not notice. This is why many people stop too early. They are not always stopped by a lack of ability. They are stopped by the pain of not seeing evidence fast enough. They try for a few days, maybe a few weeks. Then life still feels normal. Their mood still goes up and down. Their problems are still there. So they think, maybe this is not working. But some things are working before they are visible. A habit is working when it becomes a little easier to return. A mindset is working when you notice the old thoughts sooner than before. Healing is working when you stop fighting every emotion immediately. Learning is working when you understand one small thing that used to confuse you. These are quiet signs. They do not always look like success, but they matter because they show direction. If your progress feels slow, it may help to look for smaller evidence. Do not only ask, has my life completely changed? Ask, did I return faster than before? Ask, did I notice something I used to miss? Ask, did I make one choice that supports the person I am becoming? This kind of evidence is not loud, but it is honest. A person may still feel tired, but they no longer give up for the whole week after one bad day. That is progress. A person may still feel nervous speaking English, but they try one sentence instead of staying completely silent. That is progress. A person may still feel overwhelmed, but they clean one part of the room instead of waiting for perfect energy. That is progress. The outside world may not notice these things yet. The result may not be ready to show itself. But inside the structure of your life, something is being trained. You are training return. You are training patience. You are training the ability to stay connected to your direction without needing constant proof. This does not mean you should pretend everything is fine. It does not mean slow progress always feels good. Some days, it will feel frustrating. Some days, you may need to adjust your method, rest properly, or ask for help. Moving forward does not mean ignoring reality, but it does mean you do not have to call yourself stuck. Every time the result is not visible yet, there is a quiet difference between being stuck and being in process. Being stuck means there is no movement, no contact, no return, no honest attempt. Being in process means the movement is still forming. It may be small, it may be slow, it may be hard to see from the outside, but it is still alive. So when the day ends and you feel like nothing changed, look more carefully. Maybe you did not become a new person today. Maybe your situation did not change in a clear way, but maybe you stayed with one small action. Maybe you came back after losing focus. Maybe you protected one part of your future by doing something ordinary. That may not feel like much tonight, but progress often begins exactly there. Slow progress often feels painful because your mind is not only looking at what you did today, it is quietly comparing today with the future you hope to reach by now. You may clean one small part of your room, send one application, study for 20 minutes, or walk for a short time after work. The action is real, but when your mind looks at the larger picture, it may still say, "This is not enough." That is where discouragement begins. The problem is not always that you are moving too slowly. Sometimes the problem is that your mind is measuring a small step against a very large dream. Imagine someone trying to improve their English. They listen to one lesson on the way to work. They repeat a few sentences quietly in the car. They understand a little more than last month, but when they try to speak, they still pause, still search for words, still feel behind. From the outside, that person is improving, but from the inside, they may only notice the gap. They do not compare themselves with who they were 3 months ago. They compare themselves with the fluent version of themselves they have been hoping to become. This kind of comparison can make progress feel almost invisible. You are standing between your old self and your future self. You are no longer where you started, but you are not yet where you want to be. That middle place can feel uncomfortable because it does not give you a clear reward. There is no big finish line. There is no sudden proof that your effort is working. There is only the quiet feeling of trying again. While life still looks mostly the same, many people quit in this middle place. They think the slowness means they are failing. But often, this is the stage where the mind is learning a new pattern before the outside world can notice it. A person who starts saving money may not feel different after 1 week. Their bank account may still look small. Their life may still feel tight. But something important has already changed. They are no longer ignoring the problem. A person who starts exercising may not see a new body after 5 days. Their clothes may fit the same. The mirror may show no obvious difference. But their system is already receiving a new message. This is something we do now. A person who tries to become calmer may still get irritated, still feel stressed, still have heavy days. But if they pause even once before reacting, that pause is not nothing. It is the beginning of a different response. The mind often ignores these small changes because they do not feel impressive. It wants results that are easy to see. It wants proof that cannot be questioned. But most real progress begins as a change in direction, not a change in appearance. This is why your progress can feel slow even when you are moving forward. You are looking for the visible result. But the first part of growth is often internal. Your choices begin to change before your life looks changed. At first, you may still feel like the same person. You may still have the same doubts, the same habits, the same environment, and the same responsibilities. But each time you return to the small action, you are training your mind to trust a new direction. This matters because direction changes identity slowly. 1 day of effort does not usually change how you see yourself. But repeating one useful action begins to create quiet evidence. You begin to notice that you are not completely stuck. You begin to see that you can return after a bad day. You begin to understand that progress is not only the moment when everything finally improves. Progress is also the moment when you stop abandoning yourself after disappointment. Think about a person who wants to build a better life but keeps feeling late. They see other people buying homes, changing careers, starting businesses, improving faster. Then they look at their own life and think, "I am still here." But maybe they are not really in the same place. Maybe they are more honest now. Maybe they waste less time than before. Maybe they recover a little faster after stress. Maybe they are starting to make decisions from patience instead of fear. These changes are not loud. They do not always create a visible result right away, but they are part of progress because they change the way a person moves through life. The mind can be unfair when it measures growth only by distance left. It looks at how far you still have to go and forgets how much resistance you have already moved through. If you were carrying a heavy bag up a hill, each step would still matter even if the top was far away. You would not say the step was useless just because the hill was still there. You would understand that the climb is made of small movements that do not feel complete by themselves. Life is often like that. A single step does not remove the whole difficulty. It only proves that you are still in motion. When progress feels slow, it helps to change the question. Instead of asking, "Why am I not there yet?" ask, "Am I facing the right direction more often than before?" This question is gentler, but it is also more accurate. It does not pretend that everything is fixed. It simply notices whether your life is beginning to move by a different pattern. Maybe you still procrastinate, but you start sooner than you used to. Maybe you still compare yourself, but you recover from it faster. Maybe you still feel tired, but you no longer use tiredness as a reason to give up completely. These are signs of direction. They are easy to miss because they do not look like success in a dramatic way, but they are often the foundation that visible success stands on later. The slow feeling does not always mean nothing is happening. Sometimes it means the roots are growing before anything appears above the ground. Roots do not look exciting. They grow in silence. They do not ask to be noticed. But without them, nothing stable can stand. In the same way, your small repeated choices may not look powerful right now, but they are teaching your life where to place its weight. You are learning how to come back. You are learning how to continue without needing perfect motivation. You are learning how to stay with a process long enough for it to become real. That is not a small thing. It is just a quiet thing. There is a stage in growth that almost never feels satisfying. While you are inside it, you are doing small things. You are trying to stay consistent. You are making better choices than before. But the outside of your life still looks almost the same. The room looks the same. The bank account looks the same. The body looks the same. The calendar is still full, and the work still asks for more than you feel ready to give. This is the part where many people start to doubt themselves. They think, maybe this is not working. Maybe I am too slow. Maybe other people change faster because they are stronger, smarter, or more disciplined. But progress does not always arrive as a clear reward right after effort. Sometimes effort first changes your tolerance, your attention, your timing, and your relationship with discomfort. These changes are quiet, so they do not feel like results at first. Imagine someone trying to clean a room that has been messy for a long time. At first, they pick up one thing from the floor, then another. Then they throw away one old receipt, fold one shirt, clear one small corner of the desk. If they step back after 5 minutes, the room may still look messy. From the doorway, almost nothing seems different. But inside the room, the structure has already started to change. There is now one clear space where there was no clear space before. There is one decision made. There is one object returned to its place. The room is not finished, but the direction of the room is different. A life can be like that. You may still be in the middle of the mess, but the direction has changed. You may not see the full result yet, but you are no longer adding to the old pattern in the same way. This is why slow progress can feel unfair. The mind wants proof before it agrees to continue. It wants to see the final shape before trusting the small steps. But many parts of life work in the opposite order. You continue first. The proof comes later. A person who starts walking again after a long season of stopping does not become confident on the first day. They become confident after many small moments where they realize they did not quit. The confidence is not the beginning of the process. It is often the result of staying with it. This means you do not need to feel certain every day. You do not need to wake up with strong belief. You can move with doubt, as long as the movement is small, enough to do honestly. There is a quiet power in doing something simple without needing it to change your whole life immediately. Reading one page, saving a small amount, walking for 10 minutes, starting the task before your mind has time to turn it into a mountain. These actions may not impress anyone. They may not even impress you, but they are still giving your life new information. They tell your mind, this is what we return to now. They tell your body, this is safe enough to repeat. They tell your future, I am still willing to meet you, even if you are not close yet. Slow progress becomes painful when you keep asking every small step to prove everything. One workout has to prove that your health is changing. One study session has to prove that your future is secure. One calm day has to prove that your mind will never become heavy again. That is too much weight for one small action to carry. A small action is not meant to prove your whole future. It is meant to keep the path open. When you understand this, your relationship with progress becomes calmer. You stop looking for a dramatic sign every day. You begin to notice the small evidence that your life is no longer standing still. Maybe you answer one message instead of avoiding all of them. Maybe you wash the dishes before they pile up. Maybe you sit with your work for 5 minutes instead of running away from it completely. These are not final results. They are contact points. They are small places where you meet your life again. And sometimes, that is what progress really needs at first. Not a huge transformation. Not a new identity. Just repeated contact with the direction you want to go. There will still be days when you feel behind. There will still be moments when you look at other people and wonder why their path seems faster. That feeling may visit you, but it does not have to lead you. When it comes, return to something visible and small. Open the notebook. Clear the table. Send the message. Put on your shoes. Do one honest thing that belongs to the life you are building. You do not need to turn your whole future around today. You only need to keep the line from breaking. Over time, the small line becomes a pattern. The pattern becomes trust. The trust becomes a life that feels less impossible to live. One day, you may look back and realize that the slow season was not empty. It was where your life was learning a new rhythm before the results had a shape. The movement was there before you could name it. The change was growing before you could show it. The progress was real before it looked impressive. So tonight, let the image be simple. A small light is still on in a quiet room. It does not fill the whole house at once. It only gives enough light for the next step. That is enough for today.